to the debate between Jinhai Senior High School and Jinmei Girls High School. The propositions for today's debate is that the Taiwan government should legalize euthanasia.
For debaters, the rules for timing your speech are as follows. When there are 30 seconds left, you will hear one short ring. When time is up, you will hear two short rings. When it's 30 seconds into the extension, you will hear a long ring. Upon hearing that, you have to stop your speech.
And rules for timing your crow's intonations are, when there are 30 seconds left, you'll hear a short ring. When time is up, you'll hear two short rings. And after hearing that, you have to stop your cross-examination.
Each team needs to prepare evidence cards for class examination. Any evidence you recited during the debate should have a corresponding evidence card, which may be reviewed upon request by the class examiner and their teammates. The cards need to be returned at the end of the constructive speech following the task examination. For the audience, please turn off your cell phone or turn it to vibrate mode. When the debate is in progress, please do not chat or use flash when taking pictures. Thank you.
First, affirmative constructive speech, 410.
Good morning. We in the affirmative strongly believe that the Taiwan government should legalize euthanasia. Euthanasia in the affirmative plan is defined as the active practice of killing hopelessly sick or injured individuals as persons in a relatively painless way for reasons of mercy, which include voluntary, non-voluntary, and involuntary. In today's debate, we only talk about voluntary. We, the affirmative, define die with dignity as letting the patient die painless, also with their happiness and wishes to let them have a better quality of life. The reasons why we insist on the legalization of euthanasia is because that hospice and palliative care right now in Taiwan is not enough, and we believe that everyone should have the right to choose. By legalizing euthanasia, we are not encouraging people to die. Instead, we believe that all humans are born with the right to choose. And the reason why we the affirmative strongly believe that euthanasia should become a choice is because according to the Envars Institute, 2013, over 68% of the people think euthanasia should be legalized, and the same result was also predicted back in 1992. We believe that euthanasia is a better way for patients to die with dignity than palliative care. So euthanasia be legalized, the patient can still choose to keep taking medical emergency or hospice care. We respect all of their choices. The main purpose of hospice care is to reduce the patient's pain so that the patients can die with dignity. However, according to the statistics of the American Home Life Society, there are 10% of the patients cannot reduce their pain even under the best care. To these patients, their living is simply suffering. They will eventually lose their intellectual ability, physical function, dignity, and self-esteem. Take a muscular dystrophy patient as an example. In the last 6 months of muscular dystrophy, the patient will suffer pain that cannot be relieved by medications. They will be paralyzed and will have to be cared for by other people, and their death is invisible but slow. In today's medical technology, there's nothing we can do to eliminate their suffering. Euthanasia is the only way, and surely more humane that those people be allowed to choose the manner of their own end and have the assistance of a doctor to die with dignity. In places all around the world, including Taiwan, we all see some similar places. In the affirmative plan, the patients who want to take euthanasia has to be under these conditions. First, the patients should be voluntary, and that they have to respect requests for euthanasia by themselves. Second, the patient has to be in incurable disease or terminal ill. They have to suffer in extreme pain, could not be recovered, and will die in 6 months. Third, the patient must make 2 oral requests and 1 written request. Fourth, the patient must be diagnosed by 3 doctors to make sure they are really suffering in incurable disease or terminal ill, and the doctors cannot give any subjective suggestions. 5, the patient must combine 3 decisions that he or she is insured and not acting on a whim, and that decision is voluntary. The patient can have been influenced by depression or any mental illness. 6. The patient has to be a citizen over 20 and was not declared, so his or her choice has to force the law. 7. The patient will pay for euthanasia treatment themselves. 8. We provide 2 ways of euthanasia, which is oral medications and injection drugs. The death process has to be done by the patient themselves under doctor's supervision. 9. There has to be a third people witness with this whole process. 10. If there is a doctor abuse involved, the doctor will be excused of the crime of murder. 11. We will start educating people about euthanasia since young. Everyone should know clearly what euthanasia really is, and it does not mean people should give up on life easily. In conclusion, we the affirmative have shown that our government should legalize euthanasia. Thank you. Now it's time for cross-examination.
Second negative, cross-examining first affirmative. 2 minutes.
Do you know that euthanasia is not always carried out successfully? Yes or no?
No.
Do you know of any side effects after the injection?
No.
So you're not aware
There's
that.
no sign of that.
Well, so you're not aware that sometimes euthanasia will be carried on and then the patient will have constant vomiting and seizure. Are you aware of that?
It will not.
Well, wouldn't this cause greater pain and suffering?
Can you face it?
So are you aware that there is side effect after the injection?
There will not be a side effect.
Right. Okay. So how long does it take for a patient to die after getting a lethal injection?
3 minutes.
3 minutes? Do you know that sometimes the process will be prolonged by 6 hours and the patient actually suffers? Are you aware of that? Yes or no? Okay. So euthanasia is supposed to be end life peacefully. Can you guarantee patient won't suffer from more pain if the euthanasia is not carried out successfully?
It will carry out successfully.
Have all pain medication available been used before the patient opts for euthanasia? Have all pain medication available being used on the patient before the patient opts for euthanasia?
The doctors will first choose for
How are you sure that there isn't any financial consideration on the patient?
unless the patient has to consider all the factors.
But how are you sure that there isn't any?
So that's why we need physicians and doctors.
Well, since that euthanasia is supposed to end life peacefully, what happens when euthanasia is not carried out successfully, since this has happened in other countries?
As I said in our pilot, it will success.
But isn't this contradictory when the patient actually asks for a peace death and they're not guaranteed?
In our pilot,
First negative, constructive speech. 4 minutes.
Honorable judges, worthy opponents, and most distinguished guests, do we value the safety of the patients? The affirmative stated in their speech that injured individuals will also be considered for euthanasia. But just how injured are they? They might still have an opportunity of being cured. They could still live on with their lives. We know a lot of people right now who don't have their limbs, don't have their legs, and they live on happily. They did go through a state of depression, but now they emerge hopeful and teaching the people of the hopes of the world. But what if these people in their state of depression ask for euthanasia? They are going to be denied happiness of later life, the hope. And they said they will not be encouraging suicide, but how do we tell the difference? If our government is encouraging euthanasia, then the people can just say, oh, since I don't want to live, I think this life is very miserable, then I can just die. Since government is legalizing this act, then aren't they just saying we have the right to choose our own death? Therefore, I can choose suicide because this is what the government is doing. Now, we know that Netherlands and Belgium are 2 countries that have legalized euthanasia. Till now, no cases of euthanasia have been sent to judicial authorities for further investigation after the euthanasia law came into effect. 16 cases were sent to the judicial authorities in the first 14 years. None were prosecuted and few were investigated. In one case, a counselor who provided advice to a non-terminally ill person on how to commit suicide was acquitted. Until 2001, the Netherlands allowed only adults access to euthanasia. However, in 2001, the law allowed for children between 12 and 16 years to be euthanized if consent is provided by their parents. Even though this age group is generally not considered capable of making such decisions,
This law even allows physicians to proceed with euthanasia if there is a disagreement between the parents. By 2005, the Groningen Protocol, which allows euthanasia of newborns and younger children who are expected to have no hope of good quality of life, was implemented. Ladies and gentlemen, euthanasia is a rather extreme form of health treatment. Allow me to explain why euthanasia will ultimately end from voluntary act to involuntary act. Legalizing euthanasia causes harms. It is naive to think that covert forms of euthanasia and assisted suicide are not occurring in places where those practices are legal. Euthanasia was permitted only for terminally ill who requested it, but then it was permitted for the chronically ill, for those who suffer with psychological, and for incompetent patients, including children. In Netherlands, 72% of the patients did not give any indication that they want their lives terminated, and in 8% of the cases, doctors perform euthanasia while alternative options and palliative care are still possible. Only 14% of the patients are contented when they die of euthanasia. There are hospices and palliative care in Taiwan. The Hospice Foundation of Taiwan serves terminally ill patients by helping and taking care of the patients to deal with their pain. They also help them die with peace and dignity. The palliative care team offers symptom mitigation and holistic care, include physical, emotional, and psychological aspects to the patients, while the patients are in the last stages of their life. The negative team does not wish to see the act of euthanasia legalized. Why should we sabotage the rights and lives of the people when the medical care and treatments in Taiwan are safe and reliable? Why should we implement the policy that can so easily lead to dangerous results? Thank you. I now stand for cross-examination.
First affirmative, cross-examining perspective, 2 minutes.
You said that Taiwan has already had hospice care. Do you think it is enough?
The hospice care in Taiwan is actually going through one that.
So do you think it is enough?
Yes, it has.
So you're not going to implement it?
I just said that the hospice care in Taiwan is going through reforms and expanding it, not even covering a wider range of illnesses, which is why the Taiwan hospice care is actually becoming even better than it was.
Who do you think that decides the value of life? Who do you think that decides the value of life?
People can decide the value of their own lives. However, they can be easily influenced by a lot of other aspects.
Thank you. So do you think that everyone should take responsibility for their own decision?
Yes, however, people can.
Would you encourage your family to die just because of their money, or if they are worried about it? Would you encourage your family to die? Would you encourage your family to die just because that you think that he or she is a burden?
I believe nobody would encourage their family to die. However, there are extreme cases where something like that would happen, and this would pressure the patient to choose something that they don't even want. Which is why.
Do you know how hospice care right now reduces the patient's pain? Do you know how hospice care right now reduces pain?
Yes, they use painkillers, and there's also an anti-pain sedation therapy that can actually prevent your coma. That's
So, do you think that all the patients can reduce pain in hospice?
yes.
Do you know there is any side effect about this drug? These drugs?
And I think that there are several different painkillers and a lot of different aspects.
So, is there any side effect?
There can be some side effects, however, I think compared to death, there are less.
Second affirmative, constructive space, 4 minutes.
Good morning. I would like to address some of the questions the negative has asked. In her first in her constructive speech, she asked how injured are they and about their mental competence and their state of depression. I would like to say that in our plan we have we have physicians that will make sure that the patients aren't influenced by depression or any mental illnesses or diseases, and that they have to be terminally ill and will die in 6 months. So, and they also talked about the Netherlands and how and the slippery slope on how voluntary euthanasia will lead to involuntary euthanasia. And I would like to say that
that they need to provide the evidence that shows that the horrible slow consequences are likely to occur. The mere possibility that such consequences might occur does not constitute such evidence. And we also like to recognize that Taiwan is a very unique country, and the same outcome might not. The outcome might not be the same. They also said that hospice is enough, but as studies state, at least 10% of terminal pain cannot be fully controlled, even with the best care. Like other distressing symptoms such as sickness, incontinence, or breathlessness cannot always be relieved. And she talked about sedation, and sometimes they even sedate these patients into unconsciousness and until they die. This terminal sedation is just really slow euthanasia, and it would be far more candid as well as more humane to practice euthanasia openly. And to think that, and everyone's tolerance for pain is also different. Unlike blood pressure or temperature or other symptoms easily measured or defined, the physical reaction to unpleasant stimuli is hard to quantify or predict. It varies from person to person, and with each individual describing pain and its intensity differently. And to think that we can understand what these people are going through and what pain they're experiencing and deciding whether they live or die is inhumane. And I would like to address some of the concerns about the choices that patients make. Euthanasia is for patients who have made a choice, and like all other choices, there are many factors in why the patient would make it, and we are merely respecting their choice. To take away that choice is disrespectful and inhumane. And the negative side, I would like to recognize that the negative side also agree that people can decide for themselves. Another reason why we want to legalize euthanasia is because what a patient thinks about their quality of life is far more important. Many people do not want to spend the last days or weeks of their life in a way which them is undignified. We have a reason to believe that hospice and palliative care that we have right now is not able to give patients their dignity. Annie Linzel, a campaigner for legalizing assisted dying, said hospice movement consistently maintains that in most cases it manages the pain and of terminally ill patients. What they cannot control, however, is the loss of personal dignity that is a very individual criteria that no one but the patient can comment on. Having the power to take control over their lives and death can help people keep a measure of human dignity in the face of their suffering. Requests for euthanasia may not indicate that patients are giving up in the face of suffering, but they are positively asserting their desire to control events. I now stand for cross-examination.
First negative, cross-examining, second affirmative. 2 minutes.
Are you aware that by legalizing euthanasia, financial reasons?
Well, of course, there are many factors. There are many factors in what kind of choices they answer.
Okay, are you aware, yes, we were talking about pain and psychological pain. However, are you aware that there are animal-assisted therapies that can help alleviate the pain and quicken the patients?
Sorry, animal-assisted.
Yes, when they let animals like dogs go in. Are you aware?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Are you aware that there are animal-assisted therapies where they can help improve the patient's mood, and usually it will alleviate their pain and less suffering.
Like I said in our plan, the patient has to be like mentally healthy, and so by improving their mood, I do not like 10% of pain.
Well, are you aware that Taiwanese hospice care is expanded, as I've said, and it is now conferring a broader range of illness, and it's not as limited as it was before.
But it is not enough to control the pain of patients.
Are you aware that the painkillers availability of Taiwan is among one of the top in the world?
Yes. But we do not put it enough.
Okay, you also said that you only put patients who are going to die in 6 months However, are you aware that doctors estimating a patient's death of terminal illness is actually very unreliable?
That's why we need 3 doctors.
Are you aware that it can be very unreliable?
Yes, but with 3 doctors, we are lessening the possibility.
Okay. So you said, okay, perhaps your policy is great and all that, but how about Taiwan public system?
Second negative comes from this stage, 4 minutes.
Honorable judges, opponents, ladies and gentlemen. First, when they mentioned about the country which implement euthanasia, they have to realize that those countries, such as Belgium and Netherlands, they have one of the best hospice palliative care throughout the world. And right now in Taiwan, yes, we're one of the best, but what's the government's focus? In 2009, Taiwan's extended hospice coverage through its national health insurances are trying to cover a broader range of illness. So the government in Taiwan right now its main focus is trying to expand our palliative care. Yes, it's not perfect, and right now the government is trying to make it better. And as the second affirmative speaker stated, that every patient is different. They have different conditions. So how are you sure that euthanasia will be carried out successfully for those patients? Because right now the main focus of them is that they want to give those patients peace death. But is peace death really a guaranteed outcome when they choose euthanasia? Because here's a study from Oregon that euthanasia is not always carried out successfully. Normally, it takes patients 6 hours to die after injecting the lethal dosage. However, there are some cases that it takes patients 6 hours to die, and those patients suffer pain, which includes vomiting and seizures. Now, in Taiwan, according to their plan, 3 doctors are required when euthanasia is carried out. But is Taiwan's doctor ready to cooperate? In Taiwan, most of the doctors are opposed to euthanasia. The doctor from Rongzhong Hospital say that they will never allow euthanasia to be implemented in Taiwan. And why is that? It is because the doctors are educated to save people, not to decide how long the patient can live. Also, in most severe cases, some doctors might view euthanasia as an easier way to deal with the curable patient instead of trying to save them. This happened before in Netherlands, Brazil. Plus, the medical distribution in Taiwan is crowded and limited. In Holland, 66% of the patient is afraid of being killed, and 27% of the doctors gave euthanasia without their patient's demand. From this, we can see that in actual practice, euthanasia only gives doctors greater power that most of the Taiwanese doctors does not look forward to take. Throughout the speech, we have not heard any of the Taiwan statistics yet. Yes, they mentioned that 10% of those terminally ill patients cannot reduce pain, even put under the palliative care. But does that mean that those patients are not satisfied about their treatment? That doesn't mean that they opt for euthanasia. Once the life is gone, it's gone forever. In what confidence and statistics the affirmative team can provide to ensure that such event will never happen? This is a risk that the government will take once the act has been passed. From the patient's perspective, the result is extremely shocking. Ms. Tong, who has spinal muscular atrophy, says, "I and many others will not perceive your support for euthanasia as an act of compassion, but one founded in fear and prejudice." In Taiwan, 95% of palliative specialists are opposed to changing the law. It shows that when physical, psychosocial, and spiritual needs of the patient are met, requests for euthanasia are actually extremely rare and rare. Studies found that fleeting or occasional thoughts of desire to death were common of people who were terminally ill, but few patients express a genuine desire of death. The reliability of patients' approval concept is therefore questionable. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a policy that once be passed will be implemented throughout the nation. With careful examination, euthanasia by its very nature is an abuse and ultimate abandonment of patients. Our current policy is flexible enough to correct most of the problem. Even not, the government should be focusing on those. In contrast, the affirmative plan will not readily repair this harm and will cause such disastrous results we can never handle. Therefore, the negative team stands firmly against the legalization of such action. Thank you.
Second affirmative cross-examine, second negative, 2 minutes.
So you mentioned that we are trying to solve a broader range of illness. Do you know which ones?
You're trying to say broader range of illness.
Yes. Do you know which ones? Which studies are being carried out?
For those, Which is from your speech.
No, from your speech, you say that hospice care is carrying out rather rigid rules.
It is a study done by CTE.
Okay, thank you. So you, in your contract speech, you mentioned that it gives doctors greater power.
Yes, yeah. It not only gives doctors greater power, the doctors in
Thank
Taiwan
you.
are not willing to take it.
Do you have the evidence for that?
Yes, it is a study done by a lawyer in 2009.
Is in 2009. Which lawyer is that? So you, in your, how do you deal with those people who are in extreme pain?
They're put on the Palliative Care Act, and on the Palliative
No, I mean
Care
in
Act,
extreme pain. What do you do
they're
with the
provided with drugs that will reduce their pain. Yes,
What kind
their
of drugs
pain.
are those?
For now, in Taiwan, morphine are being taken. And there are many others, and you have to
What
see.
if morphine cannot control
It depends on different symptoms. So I can't give you a specific drugs, but the drugs are given to them are trying to
Okay,
reduce
thank you.
their
You mentioned that you sedate those people.
in extreme
Is that-
cases,
is that
not
right?
all people. When patient asks for it, not we do it whenever the patient feels.
So the
when
patient
wants
asks for
it. Only in
sedation.
the most extreme and severe cases.
So you understand that the patient asks for
Yes,
it.
but we're not
So
giving
is,
a lot
do
doses
you
of
agree
it.
that it is just a very slow euthanasia?
No, I do not agree because once the patient are being put on the Palliative Care Act, drugs that are being
No,
used
we're
is
talking
so
about-
good.
Sorry.
5 minutes preparation.